Welcome back to another episode of AchromatiCraft. If you didn't see it in our last few episodes, you should definitely go check out our village makeover. So behind me, we had a whole village that we found in episode 1, and we finally got it made over. It took us 3 episodes, but we got it made over into all grayscale. The infestation that came out of the ground here that's been making our world grayscale finally took it over. And then just behind me here, we had a whole bunch of houses plotted out, and I just went ahead and did those off camera. We didn't need more village building in a 4th episode. We went through so much work to get these in that I wanted to make sure that I just got it done so we could start decorating. But before we start decorating, I should show you what the inside of some of these look like. So if you didn't see in last episode, most of these have an interior, put some lights in so they're mob safe, but they're boring. We don't have anything in most of these, and we need to decorate them at some point. But what I realized is to do that, I'm going to need a lot more crimson stem, and I actually would like to kind of move away from always using these soul lanterns and start seeing if we could do some candles. I forgot that candles even exist until I was watching someone else's video. So today what I thought we'd do is start building up a bee farm so I can get some beeswax and be able to make those candles. We're also going to need string, if I remember the recipe right. So we're going to start seeing if we have a place that we can build a spider spawner and be able to get string, or maybe just find a place that we can harvest a lot from, like a mine shaft. Not quite sure what we're going to do. Well, let's go get some bees and get started. Before we get too far into building a farm somewhere out here in the village, I wanted to check and see if we actually have any bees or beehives. We might have to start from just trying to get some. Now, if you haven't seen my storage room in a bit, I try and put most of my grayscale blocks over here, and then all the other colorful ones that we need that aren't, but still end up either in a recipe or something else end up in here. And I do have some birch, which I want to grow. And I have a beehive in here already. Oh, yes, I do have one. That's awesome. I don't know if there's any bees in there. I actually want to have a lot of bees. So we're actually going to take these birch saplings because I want that wood, the white and black wood, for a future project. And then, if I remember right, we need to use flowers by the trees. So let's do that. Let's go out, get some bee nest going. It might take us a minute, so we might have to go find a big spot to do it. But let's go set that up. I'm going to get some bones, and we're going to get some bee nest. All right, it's been a minute since I've been to my farm down here. I thought I'd come show you how much we've been using this. This has been our place, and they're starting to come out with more and more armor. So I think that means we've been in this area too long. But in here, we have plenty of bones. So I'm going to actually take a couple different stacks here, and we'll take that up. I won't AFK here yet and fix. Looks like my shovel needs it. Pickaxes and other things are good. But let's take those bones up there and grow us some trees. Now that I have an area that I just cleared out, which is kind of by where our acacia trees are, we definitely need to use acacia more. Someone pointed out in the comments of the last episode I should start using that more in my builds, and I agree. So we're going to start harvesting that some more too. But we're just over here, just by the iron farm, out where it's still green. Looks like the sun's going down. I'm going to sleep, and then we're going to start planting these trees. All right, and we have a new day and a new spot to start planting some trees. So I'm going to grab those out here real quick. And I'm also going to make us some bone meal here. So what I want to do, if you haven't seen this technique before, is essentially I'm just going to take trees. I'm going to space them out a little because I want to see if we can get even more saplings out of this. But I'm just going to space them evenly and then put a flower right next to each one of them. This helps the chances go up that a beehive will be on there. So then we're going to come over about here is fine. We're just going to do the exact same thing. Just planting these along. Planting a flower. I don't know how many of these we need to do, but I want to see if we can get more. I'm not too worried about having all beehives in this thing. We might actually, oh man, do I have any other types of flowers? Nope, so we'll just grab some of these. The beauty of being around flowers. And since we're not, we're just gonna space these like every other one. And hopefully that works. So I'm gonna let these grow up. I'm gonna use some bone meal on them, see if we can get them to grow up a little faster. And we don't need a lot of beehives. We probably just need another 1 or 2 so that we can get those bees, and then we can breed them up and we can build bee hives, I believe is what they're called. And we'll just do it that way. We don't need all original bee nests. So let me get these up, see if we can get any bee hives to spawn in, and we can go from there. Be right back. Saplings have been bone mealed and we got nothing. So I don't know if the bone meal affects them or not. So we're going to just chop down these trees. We're going to chop down the acacia. While we're doing that, I'm going to chop these down, replant them, and see if maybe natural growth will help that. If not, we'll keep bone milling it. But I'm going to chop these guys down, and then let's make a proper acacia farm since we're going to start using those too. All right, so I'm going to let these ones naturally grow this time. See if that produces any beehives. I'm going to cut these down. I'm going to find a spot. Maybe we'll just flatten this out a little bit better and we'll plant the acacia. Let me do that and we'll be right back. I was hoping that one was going to spawn a bee's nest while we were waiting. Well, let me do that and we'll see what generates here. Okay, I'm getting a spot decently set up here. And yeah, I'm covering ground and making it flat. I usually like to work with the terrain, but since there's not going to be a better spot, since we need this kind of flat, I just want to see if we can make it a little more flat. We'll terrain it down, make it look good when we eventually spread over here. But before we do that, we have a few trees that have grown up, and let's just peek real quick. Dang, no beehives just yet. It's okay, we still got a lot of saplings to grow. Let's get these acacia ones planted. And this one I'm actually going to do a little bit different. So typically I've been spacing those, but as you know, these things are a pain because they grow in so many weird ways. So we're going to do the traditional, just grow them in a line so that it's easier to kind of harvest the wood as we go through. So, oh wow, look, we almost got those in 2 perfect lines. But we're going to let these things grow. We're going to let those grow and see if we get anything. So let me let these grow and I'll bring you back. Oh man, it doesn't look like second time was the charm either. Let's just do another double check, but I'm not seeing anything. I don't think we got them this time. So tear it down. Hopefully third time's the charm. All right, we're going to try something a little bit different. So before I was putting it right by the flower. So this time we're going to try spreading them out, I think 1 block away, and see if maybe that does something. I mean, there's a wiki out there. I should probably just go look it up and see if there's a better way of doing it. But hey, you know, this is Minecraft. I want everything to be just looking it up. So we're going to have some fun and see if we can figure out how to make beehives spawn the best. All right, guys, I was just about to sleep and look what grew. Oh yes, and there is at least 1 bee, 2 bees. Sweet. All right, so this is actually going to work out perfect. Oh, there's 3 of them. Is this my silk touch? It is. Okay, when these guys go back to sleep, now that it's nighttime, we're going to take them and we'll have all 3. Third time was a charm. We got like half of the trees grown, which is perfect that it came so quick. So I'm kind of hoping my other hive has at least 3 bees in it. So let's let them go in there. Silk touch. Oh yes, and we got a... Let's go start working on a location. I'm not quite sure where we're going to build this. So let me sleep before these mobs come out and we'll look for a location for our bees. Okay, I think I found the right spot for us. We're going to be over here in the farm. So if you haven't seen previous episodes, we essentially just made a whole bunch of farm area. We have some horses out here. There's the windmill, starting to get in all these crops out here. figure this is the perfect place for a bee farm. So I've marked out a spot here, and we're just going to mark out a circle. I have this vision in my head of kind of like a half dome, and then the redstone kind of going out the back. So my idea is, I don't know, let's go out a few. I think we need 5 on the side. I'm trying to remember how big to make this circle. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I think I messed something up already. Maybe this is one thing you should never do, is try and build circles live on camera. So let's see, I think we can figure it out here. I know it's 5, 1, 1. It's one of the easiest circles to make. Oh yeah, look, we got it. All right, let's see if this is a good size first off. No, it feels like it's in about the right spot. Yeah, what I'm trying to do, and I'll land here on this tree, is I want to have, we're eventually going to put a crane here and a bunch of like different pallets of rocks that's come up from this quarry, which was another project we have to do. We have so many projects still. But that would kind of be the idea of this. So I don't want the bee farm to get too close, but I do want an easy way for us to still see it. I might push it back over a little bit, but I think it's about the right size. We have a redstone out the back. Let me go get that build up, and then we'll see if it's looking good. And a little time later, we have it. I don't know if this is what you all thought it was going to be. I don't know if it's what I thought it was going to be. But essentially what we'll be able to do is see the bees down here. I still got to put in the floor here. But let me jump in here. Got some mud a little bit. If you don't know, mud is the only gray block that you can put flowers on. So that's what we'll be using for part of in here. But what we're going to do is put the bee nest in here. And as we start getting more comb, the honeycomb, we'll make some extra hives, breed them up. So that is essentially a setup, and this little house behind is where I stuck all the redstone. So we can kind of see that in here. And it's a little hard to see, so I built an extra one over here. These things are super easy to make. You have a dropper. This represents where the beehive goes, and then however you want to pull the honeycomb out. And then really it's just 5 blocks, 3 half slabs, and a simple redstone. Let's see if we can see up here on top. Just redstone on top, and that's going to make this whole system work. It'll understand when the beehive gets full, send a redstone signal up, and we'll put some shears in here. We don't have any right now. We'll go over to our iron fire and grab some. No big deal. So that's a quick fix that we can do there. But I want to get the floor in real quick. Let's see. Yeah, I still got all this stuff. And then we're going to sprinkle some of these. So obviously there's no black flowers. That won't kill the bees. Obviously there's the wither flowers. But I want to spread these out a little. They're going to be hidden. But they're at least blue, which matches a lot of like our lantern lights over there. So it's at least going to give us that aspect. And guys, let's do it. We got the beehives with us. Let's pop it in. And hope. Oh man. I better fix. I'm just going to put a temporary block there. Because I think the bees can fit out of there. Did we miss anywhere else? Alright. Let me get some black glass here in a second. But let's get these beehives in. And see how many bees we actually have. Alright, and while I made a whole bunch of shears, we're starting to get the bees coming out. That's great. I'm going to actually just pop a few of these in here. That's how we'll get the honeycomb. Just having some shears in here. And that's perfect. Oh yeah, the bees are loving it. Actually, can we get... Looks like we have 4. I'll keep watching these. But as we start getting some honeycomb, we'll actually make the hives to put in there and then breed up the bees so we can have plenty of honeycomb coming in. So we can make all of the candles that we need. Okay, and to finish us off, I stuck 2 trees in there real quick. We're obviously gonna have to do some landscaping, but we at least wanted to see what this might look like. Let's see if we can jump over with a few trees. So we put one inside to make the bees feel a little more at home. I stuck kind of a small weeping willow here. I didn't want something quite as big as that one, but we got one there. We'll do some different landscaping around here. Put a little small pine tree here, just to kind of start letting it blend in. We got to figure out what's over here first. I think we might put even some more pallets out here, and maybe even some farmland. I don't know, that might look good. But it looks like we are done with the beehive. So this is awesome. It's going to start getting us that honeycomb we need. We'll be able to make our candles. And pretty soon we'll be able to start decorating the inside of our village. We got so much of it done in the last couple episodes on the buildings, but they're not decorated. We need to bring some life in. We'll be doing that. So off camera, I'm going to continue to get the bees bred up, get the production going higher. And guys, that is going to be it for this episode. Thanks for watching, and let me know if you have other ideas on some different farms that we're going to need for grayscale blocks. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you soon.